I have been waiting so damn long for an interesting album to come out. Oh my god, I've waited so long for something actually interesting and like exciting to come out. Like in November, I don't think a single interesting album came out. There was Good News by Megan, which was admittedly pretty disappointing, and I almost reviewed that. I was about to record it, and then I was just like, I don't feel like it, and then I didn't end up doing it. Mostly because I was doing the Kanye series, which I stopped doing because I got pretty bored of that. But in November we only had like that and the Lil Uzi Future album. There was very little to find interesting throughout November. But here in December, things have been way more exciting recently. I don't think anything interesting or cool dropped last weekend, but there's this whole thing with Mario Judah threatening about the Whole Lotta Red drop, which now there's theories it'll come out on Christmas Day. I personally don't like Playboy Cardi, so I don't really care, but people are excited, so I'll review when it comes out. There's finally the new Jack Harlow album. There's a new Boldy James record, new Griselda. I'm always excited to hear Griselda. And hopefully by the end of the month, we're going to hear another big project from one of the artists that announced the projects. Like, some people are still theorizing J. Cole will drop the Fall Off by the end. I don't think he will, but who knows. But one thing I did not expect to drop this weekend, like this Friday, no promotion, no teaser tracks, no anything, was Man on the Moon 3. When this was announced back in October, that was my cue to actually listen to Kid Cudi. I heard that announcement and then I thought, I should listen to this. So I listened to all of his albums in the terms of a week. I mostly like his discography, but I do think there's quite a few misses. I love both Man on the Moon albums. I'm weird, and I think the second one's better than the first. Most people like the first one more, but I think the second one basically is almost like on the same level, except for there's a lot of moments on the first that I found very corny and very cheesy and cringy, and on the second one they're just not there. But after that, he kind of went on a downward spiral with me not thinking Indie Cut was a good record. I thought Satellite Flight could have used some work. I think Speed and Bullet to Heaven is one of the worst hip-hop albums I've honestly ever had the mispleasure of sitting through, even if I could consider it a hip-hop album. Then I thought Passion, Pain, and Demon Slain was a lot better, but it's been about 4 years since that one came out. So I know he's been spending time on either taking a break or he's been spending time trying to make his next record his best. Like, he wants to come back with a really great record. He did have Kidz See Ghosts back in 2018, an A+ album in my opinion, perfection. It is an incredible record in every sense of the word. Him and Kanye did amazing on Kidz See Ghosts. It is in my album of the 12 A+, the 12 greatest albums ever. Hip-hop specifically. But when he announced Man on the Moon 3, that's the big announcement because it's been 10 years since Man on the Moon 2. And this is also exciting for me as a person who's not really a Cudi-like fan, but I really like some of the stuff this man's put out, and I want him to be great. I want him to make great records. And seeing that Man on the Moon 3 was coming out, I was excited. I was excited to go into this with nothing else but just a blank slate of no snippets, no anything. Just the idea of it being the third chapter in the Man on the Moon saga. It made me really excited, and it also made me excited because I think Kid Cudi's actually had a really great streak recently. I thought his single with Eminem, I wasn't big on it at first, but I actually grew on me a lot. I really love the Scotts. I thought that was a great single with Travis Scott. I also thought his Leaders of Delinquents was great, which Intergalactic is still supposed to come out this year, and Kidz See Ghosts. So I don't know what Cudi's doing here, but he actually came through with Man on the Moon 3 in 2020. I didn't expect that. I thought that would be the last one. I thought he'd be dropping Intergalactic and I guess the Scott's album, if that's even happening. I thought that those were going to come first. Oh, maybe Utopia would drop this month. Probably not, but I want to hear that. But the point is that Kid Cudi came back. He just said randomly, okay, here we go, Man on the Moon 3, Friday. It made me so excited. I was so ready for this. It's the most excited I've been for an album since King's Disease, maybe even before that. Honestly, I think this might be, No Pressure is probably the most I've been excited for an album in 20. I guess kind of Donda, but it didn't even drop, so whatever. But he is, nope, I didn't have any anticipation for Music to Be Murdered By because it wasn't even announced in the first place. But he has come back with this new album. It's not even an hour long. It's 58 minutes, so it's basically an hour. It's another act album. He separates down to 4 acts, which I don't have a problem with because I don't think it really obstructs the sound of the album in any way. It's just kind of a cool thing about it. I liked that on Passion, Pain, and Demon Slain. But there are 4 acts in this album. Each act contains about 4 to 5 tracks on it or so. And overall, I went into this with hopeful. I went into this hoping Kid Cudi would do the best he could to make the best record he could, to take those 4 years he's taken off to create something great. We open with the track Beautiful Trip, which is a really quick opener. I quite like it as an opener. I need to clear some notifications. Some of them are actually about Cudi. But it's a really cool opener. I really like the In My Dreams little da-da-da. I really like that. I thought that was a really nice touch. I also would like to add The Pursuit of Happiness is one of the greatest songs ever. Ever. If he had referenced that on this album, I would have died. That song is so amazing. But In My Dreams, I really love the notes that he puts right there at the beginning. And he overall just kind of sets things up. It's not inherently the most necessary track, but I like it for what it is, and it kind of leads you into Tequila Shots, which is not one of the best on the album, but is a really cool opener in my opinion. I really like the production. I liked his vocals. It kind of gave me this feeling of, okay, so Cudi is doing good. He's so far in this first track doing what he does best. He's kind of doing what he did on Passion Pain, only he's giving a lot more energy to it. It's not nearly as dragged down long and as big. It's a lot quicker, to the point, and it sounds a lot more like he's doing what he used to do to a great talent. So it's not incredible, it's nothing new, but it's really enjoyable. Then, with Another Day, I actually kind of realized that this in a lot of ways sounds like Soundtrack to My Life, at least the opening piece to it, and that's good because Soundtrack to My Life on End of Day is around the same point as this is on this one. Sorry, I drank a kombucha because I'm white and it's like bubbling up. It's weird, but I really love the instrumental on Another Day. My only thing I've realized though is that putting this next to Tequila Shots has way cooler vocals, but a little more of a boring instrumental. Not a boring instrumental. I love the Tequila Shots instrumental, just more boring than the instrumental on Another Day, which has a cooler instrumental, but I think I would have liked it. I think the vocals on Another Day are worse. If you had just taken the vocals from Tequila Shots with the instrumental of Another Day, this would have been like one of the best on the album. But the beat on Another Day is incredible, and the vocals are great, so I really like that one overall. I think so far both tracks, these two opening tracks, really have set me up for the tone. She Knows This is definitely going to be that big single hit song, I can tell from the sound, and other than the Pop Smoke and Trippie Redd songs, but it's a really entertaining, nice track. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's light, it's nice. It's not nearly as to the heart as some other tracks and later acts will come in this album, but I really like it for what it is. Dive is amazing, although this is the end of Act 1, and this is an amazing track. It's only a little bit over 2 minutes, but every second of it is amazing. The vocals are great, the instrumental is emotional, big, it's powerful. It's Cudi doing Cudi best. I really love this track. I think it's the best so far to come up on this album. Act 1 for me is probably it's probably my least favorite act on this album, because I think this is the only act that doesn't contain one of the best on this album. Now, initially I thought when I heard Dive, I was like, that might be the best on this album. No. But that, for this first act, is a nice setup. It gets you the tone, it gets you the sound. It's called Return to Madness, by the way. Now we're on to Act 2, The Rager and the Menace. The Rage or the Menace. Damaged is a good track, but it's probably the most forgettable on this album. I love it because I love the sound this album's portraying, but it is the most forgettable if I had to pick one, but I still really like it, and I thought it was great. Heaven on Earth is, while I would say Damaged is the just most forgettable track, Heaven on Earth is, in my opinion, the worst track, even though it is still great. I still love the instrumental and sound to it. I think what I would say, though, is I think just as a song, it kind of just doesn't need to be here. I like the instrumental, I like the vocals, it's just more the most annoying track on this album. Is it annoying as a whole, though? No. If I put this on most of their albums, this would be one of the best. It's still a solid track. It's just my least favorite on the album. However, the next two are not. They're some of the best on this album. Some of the best, honestly, in the whole Cudi catalog. Show Out. What a banger, man. Man, he brings Pop Smoke and Skepta on this, and they all kill this. I don't know if he recorded Pop Smoke's part during Pop Smoke's life. It's entirely possible. I don't know. But overall, man, Pop Smoke's hook with this loud, booming bass instrumental and the energy coming from every rapper, from every chord in the track, it is amazing. Everything combined with this track. Obviously, I love Pop Smoke as a rapper, so hearing his vocals are great anywhere. Honestly, I just thought this was a fantastic banger of a track. And if this ends up being the big, most streamed song from this album, I have no problem with this, because this was incredible. This is a great track. And basically from this point on, This album is just non-stop amazing, amazing after amazing after amazing after amazing. The first act and a half, you know, was really good. It was really impressive, really well done, but it wasn't getting that. Now we get it with Mr. Solo Dolo 3. This was a track I was excited for because it is the third Solo Dolo song. We had Solo Dolo 1, Solo Dolo 2 on Indie, Solo Dolo was on End of Day, and then Solo Dolo 3 on The Chosen. Although Solo Dolo 2 is probably my was my favorite because I thought Kendrick basically made the highlight of Indie on the Kendrick verse is the highlight of that whole album. That's a great verse from him. Kind of the only great element of Indie anyway. I'm gonna get hate from that from the Cudi fans because I know Cudi fans love Indie, but I don't. So I'm sorry, but trust me, I love Passion Pain, and most people don't love Passion Pain. Also, most people don't love Man on the Moon 2. So yeah, I actually mostly seem to like Cudi more than some other people. I just don't like Indie. But Solo Dolo 3 it's perfect. It's probably my favorite Solo Dolo. This is amazing. This was one of the best on this album. This felt like one of the most personal, real tracks on this album. He goes and gives this everything he has to give great emotions, sounds, vocal inflections, you name it. He does the best. And the third chapter in the whole Solo Dolo trilogy is, in my opinion, the best. I think this is the most passionate, really well done. And honestly enough, this was contender for my favorite track on the whole album. This was amazing. But later, towards the end of Act 3, another track comes up, and my God, we'll get to that one soon. But that is the end of Act 2, which contains 2 of my least favorite and 2 of my favorite. So overall, I think Act 1's still my least favorite because none of my favorite are in Act 1, but Act 2 isn't too far ahead. But Act 3, let's just talk about Act 3, man. This is an incredible. This is actually one of my favorite 5-track runs of the year. Sad People is a really relevant song. I feel like it's kind of him speaking to fans, people whom are in the general world. There is so much common depression in the world, and it feels like anyone who can think about depression can really relate to the song. It feels really personal, really emotional, really broken. It's Cudi doing his thing, but he's doing it better than he usually does it. Like, better than he honestly ever has. He's doing the sound, and he's bringing all the emotion out. There's no cringiness like there was on some of the cuts on End of Day. There's no Make Her Say or Intergalactic Unity. There's nothing like that. There's no cringy moments that are like on the second Man on the Moon, or tracks like Erase Me, which sonically do not fit. I like Erase Me, don't get me wrong, I thought it was a great Kanye track, but it wasn't really fit sonically in that album. But as a whole, this is like, he is getting the sound great on this album. Elsie's Baby Boy is a more storytelling track, and it's a beautiful storytelling track. It's about a single mother and her children being broken and lost. It's his reflection to think back on somebody in his life who struggled. I really love the vocals. I think he brings an amazing hook on this album. I think it's really just entertaining. It's really well done. It's really pretty. I love the guitar at the beginning. I thought that was amazing. I think he did the best he could on this track, and I thought it was great. September 16th is the 4th amazing track in a row. I really love this. This track takes Cudi's talent, brings it to the best it can. There is really amazing vocal inflections, like I mentioned. The beat is great. It's overall, the only reason this track might be a little more forgettable on the album is because of how good everything else is around. This is still one of my favorites on the album. It's just buried by his other tracks. Next, we're on to The Void. This is my favorite track on this album. This is one of my favorite songs of 2020, and this is one of my favorite Kid Cudi songs ever. I only heard this last night, and my God, this was, oh my God, the vocals, the beats, the message, the runtime, the everything. The Void is perfect. This is so amazing. That hook of him like screaming, like yelling, I don't like his hook. Okay, I'm not gonna sing it because I can't sing. But man, Cudi kills this hook. Kills it with so much passion over this large, depressing, heavy-weighted instrumental. It is an amazing track. One of the best of Cudi's career. And probably honestly, my 5 favorite songs of 2020. This is incredible. I don't know how we're like over 10 years into a discography of a man who kind of fell off really quickly, and he's making some of the best material he's ever made in 10 years in. Lovin' Me is another great track. It is another amazing track. We're talking about Phoebe Bridgers on this, who grooves great vocals to this. I like how he featured other artists on this to not let them overtake him, but him overtake them. It always feels like every track on this is a Cudi song, but when Pop Smoke shows up, when Trippie Redd shows up, when Phoebe Bridgers shows up, it feels like they get their spotlight as well. I love this track. I love the way the vocals come together. I think it's beautiful. I think it's amazing. It's honestly one of the loveliest track on this album. It's just a great track. It's a really beautiful track. And basically, in my opinion, Act 3, Heart of Rose Gold, is incredible. My God, everything on this act was incredible. It's the best on this whole album. Act 4 only contains, I think, three tracks. Yeah. Wait, no, it doesn't. It just, my page stops. It contains 4 tracks. The Pale Moonlight's another one of my favorite tracks. It's one of the darkest, most hopeless, but also one of the most hopeful, if that makes sense, tracks. It's jaw-dropping. It's amazing. The way his voice is able to work with that instrumental. Cudi has a way with his voice to let it just smoothly run against an instrumental. His humming, I know it can be annoying, but he is so good at it. He's just good at humming, man. I don't know why I said that, but still, this is a great track. I loved everything he did on this. Rockstar Knights is definitely the most hit-center track on this album. It's not one of my favorites, but honestly enough, I did think he basically topped out Trippie Redd's career here, because Pegasus was god-awful. I like this a lot as a track. I think my only question is why Trippie Redd? Cudi, I mean, you are Kid Cudi. Many rappers would feature with you. Why not feature Travis Scott? Why not feature Kanye West? Why not feature anyone else except Trippie freaking Redd? I don't think he needed to be on this track, but I like it as a track. I think it's fun. I think it's energetic. I think it's nice. And I think it fits on the album. For the Kidz is another amazing track, as, like I mentioned a ton. It feels like this has such an understanding to what modern culture is. I think the hook it has one of my favorite hooks on this album. I think it is a great track. And I think overall it brings a lot of emotion out of Cudi that these other tracks also kind of bring up, but this one kind of brings it out even in the best fashion. Lord I Know is the final conclusion to this album, and while it's not the best conclusion he could have done, I think that's not the point. And I think the point is that we're going to be hearing more from Cudi soon, because this track doesn't feel like a grand, big, final knockout, let's get them out with a final track. It's like, here's the final track, you have a little bit more energy, it's a little bit more upbeat, but in terms of like sound, in terms of themes, not really, but it's a little bit more energetic. Cudi uses a different flow, different rhythm, more energetic and angry rhythm, if Cudi's ever done an angry rhythm, except for Speed and Bullet to fucking Heaven. I really love this track. I thought it was great, and I thought it was a good conclusion to this album. And I think the reason why I said that wasn't meant to be the big knockout and that we're going to hear more from Cudi very soon is because of the line at the end where the little girl says to be continued, hinting at the fact that we might get a Man on the Moon 4. And judging by his tweet afterwards, that might be quite possible, honestly. And I'd be totally okay with that. You know why I would be totally okay with that? Because Kid Cudi, 2 months ago, announced that he would be making Man on the Moon 3, and he got us hyped as hell. He didn't release any singles. He just, December 11th, he's like, boom, okay, this Friday, you get to hear Man on the Moon 3. And I don't know how to say it other than this was wonderful. This album was wonderful to me. This is one of the best things I've heard in a long, long time. I don't think a record this good has come out in months. This was so well done. Every track felt so personal. I feel like Cudi spent the last 4 years pouring his heart into making the best third chapter he could to the Man on the Moon trilogy. I feel like he wanted to just give his fans what they wanted, go back to his old sound, but be able to kind of do new things with it. I've heard some people say that he maybe kind of wears these influences like Juice WRLD and Travis Scott, these people he influenced, on his sleeve a little much. I can see that, but I feel like Cudi is beyond that sound. He's beyond that influence, if you know what I'm saying. I understand, you could say he wears his influence on his sleeve, but he's the guy who created the influence. Are you gonna say that Eminem is wearing his influence of, Logic on his sleeve because, Godzilla sounds like a Logic song? No. Eminem inspired Logic. I can understand the point for Cudi, but honestly, I think Cudi is beyond the point of inspiration from other artists, because I think this man knows what he wants to do. We're at 7 albums now. He knows what he wants to do at this point. Overall, though, if I am going to get a lot of hate for the next statement I'm about to say, but I've really thought about this, and I've really compared it, and I think I've decided Man on the Moon 3 is the best Kid Cudi album ever. Of any Kid Cudi album, this was easily the best one he's ever made. I love the original Man on the Moons too, don't get me wrong, but the flaws I have with those albums just aren't here. And the things I love about those albums are here. Like, there's no useless track, there's no, like, kind of forgettable useless sounds like on Man on the Moon 2. And there's not much of, I still love Man on the Moon 2. And there's no cringy moments like on Man on the Moon. Or dated moments. It's all, maybe that's just because it came out last night, so it can't be dated now, but every flaw I feel like those albums had, I feel like was corrected this time around. I feel like this is the best Kid Cudi album we could get. I feel like he did his sound, his style, his voice to the best extent he could to give me a fan-frickin-tastic album. One of the best I've heard in 2020. Honestly, top 3 of the year. This was amazing. I cannot tell you how much I honestly loved Man on the Moon 3. This is a wonderful, beautiful album. And honestly enough, I got pretty emotional by the end of this album last night. Because honestly, I love Kid Cudi. Even though he's made a lot of terrible albums, this album made me realize that this man's sound, vocals, style is something that I have loved for years. I've just never noticed it. I've loved Travis Scott, Juice WRLD, and all these other guys for years without realizing that Kid Cudi really is the best of them. And he really has hit the peak of it all. He has become one of the most influential artists out there. This is one of the best albums, obviously, for in 2020. Thankfully, I am going to give this rating out again because I am going to give Man on the Moon 3. You know what? I am feeling an A. I haven't given out an A in so long. I haven't given out an A to Kid Cudi yet, but I'm doing it because I feel like this album did everything it needed to do, and it did it in the best way possible. This was an amazing album. It was really well put together, and honestly enough, Kid Cudi, congratulations. This was incredible, honestly. I will review Jack Harlow's That's What They Say, or That's What They All Say, next. I listened to it right before recording this. I quite enjoyed it. I'll just say that flat out again. I liked the new Jack Harlow record. And I think I'll still review Boldy James. It's a short album, but I've kind of been on the grind to always review what Griselda's doing. So I feel like I can't really stop that now. And I'm excited. I really like Boldy James. And I've really liked what he's done this year. So I'm excited to hear it. What do you guys think on Man on the Moon 3, though? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know, Cudi fans. See you guys next time. What's your favorite track from this album? Yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, in the next couple weeks, we get some albums of the year. I need to listen to Miles by Blue and Exile. I listened to Below the Heavens the other day. It's one of the best albums I think I've ever heard, honestly. See you guys next time. Bye.